Hello and welcome to Ticking All the Boxes for Saturday's Rosehill meeting, which will feature the Run to the Rose and the Premier's Cup. And Nick Ashman, we are also going to have a look at a couple of races in Melbourne. How are you?
Good. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right. All right.
All right, race day on Saturday?
Oh, it's just a day. It's a flat week after last week, but as of next week, it sort of kicks on and goes from strength to strength.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a thinnish sort of day. There's a couple of exciting races, let's say.
Yeah.
I'm even looking forward to the Premier's Cup. I'm looking forward to lining a few of these stays up. So,
Yep.
yeah, but it's a bit flat compared to last week, but that happens at the start of a carnival. So I think it was the same in Melbourne last week. They had their good meeting the week before, and then they went back to Moonee Valley for a couple of average
That's right.
stakes races. So, all right. We'll get straight into it. We won't muck around. Rosehill on Saturday, we're working on a good 3 rails in the true. And the first race is Spotless Benchmark 80 Handicap over 1,400 metres for the mares. And our prices are, courtesy of Sportsbet. Nocturnal, she opened 210 out 260. Del Zero 9. What else we got? Natch Catch 13. New Beginning $5 to 440. And down the bottom, Westchester, $6 to 460.
Yeah, it's interesting. When I was doing the form, I thought Westchester's form just wasn't quite good enough for this. But I don't know. Obviously, there's a few people that disagree with that. But Nocturnal came out on top. I didn't want to take the even money or thereabouts when the prices came out. It's getting out to a more reasonable price now. But mate, I'm not going to have a bet. But if I did, I'd probably just have something on Del Zero and hope that Matia's Pride doesn't pester it.
Okay, you are in love with it?
In Del Zero, yeah, well, it paid a good dividend there. It's one of those horses, but $10 is probably a fair price for it.
So what are you doing with Nocturnal if it came out on top?
Well, I think you just want...
It's at 260 now.
Yeah, it's at 2. That's what I mean. It's getting to a backable price now. You know, she looks too good for him. She ran in the same class race last start and just absolutely killed him. Goes up, I think, 3 kilos off the top of my head.
Yep. Few newbies here, but...
Yep, and there's a couple of horses. Natch Catch ran behind it last start. Meets it better at the weights, obviously. But I thought Nocturnal, didn't think anything that finished behind her last start would be beating her on Saturday.
No, I tend to agree. So that's why I've gone to 2 of the ones that haven't been racing against it. Reckon this New Beginning's going all right. I mentioned it last week. Thought its first up win was excellent. Off a 212-day break. And, you know, John Thompson made the point after the race of saying that basically because she was coming back from a tendon, he'd done nothing with her. Yep. And she came out and sprinted really well fresh. Then second up, as can happen, she just levelled out a bit. But in saying that, it probably was a better performance than, you know, a performance at Reed's beaten 4.6 because Strawberry Boy got the soft run in front, sprinted away and just gapped them.
Yep.
Here she is third up on a 7-day backup. From a good draw, there should be a little bit more speed in this race for her. I think she's going pretty well, this mare, and I think she's one that can get the better of Nocturnal with the 60 kilos. And obviously Westchester. Yeah, look, I was a little bit the same as you, questioning the form, but the stable are very good at moving horses in a state that place them to advantage. And when there's good support for one that's come into state, you've got to respect that, and I do respect that. So, yeah, they're the 2 for me, 5 and 10. I'll put New Beginning on top, but just ahead of Westchester.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right.
Yep.
The second race is TVN Jockeys Trust Benchmark 69 Handicap over 1,400 metres. Our prices. What have we got here? Praser 230, Norzita 460, Christy Lee 480, Red Dynamite 11, and then you're out to 15 Destiny's Rising and 17 Longport and the Doom's Quest.
I think this is one of the better bets of the day, Norzita. Just forget it went round last start. Glyn put it up his hand after the race and said he had a shocker on it. It was, 270 into 190. It won a very good race 2 starts back with some although you've got to question Clever Boy came out of that race and he's not going too good. But certainly on the day, I think we all thought that was going to be a fairly good form race. Remains to be seen, but the 2 times she's been beaten, she's only had 3 starts, and 2 times she's been beaten, there have been very genuine excuses. And with the amount of money that came for her last start, I think you've got to respect it. The fact that she stays at the 1400 metres, I'm pretty sure she gets the blinkers on here for the first time, so I like that. Otherwise, you'd probably want her going up to the mile. She's also had the 21 days in between runs. Obviously, Prassier was really, really impressive on debut. I think it's a 2-horse race. I think one of those 2 will be winning, but I'll be going Norzeta.
Yeah, look, I'm not tumbling in a Norzeta at 460. I'm not saying she can't win, but granted, it wasn't the greatest ride last time, but I still think she was entitled to find the line better than what she did. It was a good 2. You could possibly make an excuse there. Maybe she felt her legs. Some horses would have come out of that race feeling them, but I just think there's enough question marks to say, well, I'm not convinced yet. The impressive win and the impressive get-home hard run first start, they're both on slow track. She's not going to get that on Saturday. So I want to see her do it. It's not a race that I would want to be tumbling into something short. Lumi out of Prassier. He's another one of these horses that are coming out. Again, it was a midweek metro meeting, but that Hawkesbury form, remember that one last week they served up at 220? It got beaten.
They've had a couple come out of there and win though.
Yeah.
220 short though.
Mate, the Lyric forms hardly excites me. Lyric was one of the first beat there yesterday on Wednesday at Canterbury behind the great Roll the Bones. Destiny's Rising comes out of the Agon race, which I think at Gosford. Agon, I know it ran 5th in the race, but it was a good effort in that race yesterday at Canterbury. And then you go down to the Christy Lee and Red Dynamite, which come out of the Dundee race at Wyong, which was midweek metro. Now, they did go bananas in that. And the leaders, King of Olympia collapsed. Red Dynamite stuck on okay, and Christy Lee got home hard. Form references around Christy Lee are pretty good.
Yep.
I'd probably prefer to be on her at $4.80 than Norzeta at $4.60 personally. But I'm actually going to spec Red Dynamite here for something small. I thought his run was really, really good in that race at Wyong. I know he got beaten 3.5, but he went hard early with King of Olympia and then just got found out the last bit. The blinkers go on for the first time also here. Mm-hmm. Now, I spoke to Tim Martin about him yesterday, and he said, whilst in some cases the blinkers can fire up a horse, this horse has been working blinkers for a hell of a long time, and he said he's confident they'll actually help him settle. Okay. So if that's the case and he does settle, and he gives himself an easier time in front, he could prove very hard to catch in the straight. And at $11, I'd prefer to be having something small on him and sort of hoping that's the case rather than taking the $4.50 for around that mark for these others.
Fair enough.
Maybe with the exception of Christy Lee. So that's how I read it anyway.
There you go, there's 2 different opinions there.
I'm not canning Norzeta. No. I'm just saying I don't want to be on at that price, that's all.
Okay. I actually thought she might firm on the day, so there you go.
Quite possibly will. I still don't want to be on the price. If it's $3.60, I'd even less want to be on it.
Yep, fair enough.
All right, race 3.
Beautiful.
Clune Event, Spotless Code, benchmark 90, 1,300 metres.
Maybe not so beautiful.
All right. New Day Rising, 650. Hard Break Hotel, 650. Bayron, 10. Coupe T, 420. Prince Pedro, 450. Maduba Gold, 9.
It's a tough race, this one. A few different form lines, isn't there?
Yep. What happens at this time of year?
Yeah. Look, I just, for the sake of having to throw in a selection, settled on Bray Rowan. I had the horse, I think, was he originally with Anne-Marie and then he went somewhere else and now he's come back?
A while ago. Yeah, he went to Waller.
I think he went to Waller and now he's come back to Anne-Marie. He's a horse that usually sprints okay fresh. Its record, like on paper, doesn't show it, but he usually goes okay. I just thought at the price I could have something on him in this type of race. Is the kind of race I could see him flashing home in. A bit tricky from the draw. Just has to slot in somewhere, one off the rail. But other than that, mate, I didn't have too much of an opinion in this race.
There's enough speed here to give all runners a chance. I'm going to spec one myself. The one I'm specking is Flaming Rock.
Yeah.
Look, he's back off a hell of a long break, almost 2 years, 588 days. But he's a horse, if you read through his form, he's got his share of ability. You go back there to his last campaign, which was back late in 2010, but he had form around the likes of Lone Command, Fusakeo, Storm Kite, Oh Crikey, Tidal, Othello. It reads okay. As a rule, he's never performed first up, but he does perform at Rosehill. And his last trial, I thought, was excellent behind Latin News. It was really good. He powered to the line. He's going to get a soft run from the gate, barrier 2. Not much weight after the claim for Jason Collett. Drops to, 53? He'd be borderline riding 53, I think. I'll need to check that. But just at $26, I'll be having 5 each way in rather than backing the rest of them.
Collett rides at exactly 53.
Well, there you go. That'll do me. I think $26 is worth $1. He's more than likely going to need the run, but $26, it's not hard to find out.
Yeah, no.
But he does look like he's come back in good shape, and he could be a horse to follow out of the meeting.
Fair enough. And there's no standout in this race, is there really? So.
It's just a race from 4 weeks ago.
What about Prince Brayman? He could improve second up.
Prince Brayman.
He's a bit of a myth, but.